Hey folks, my name's Summer Mesa and I'm HR and Training Consultant with Schools Personnel Service, and welcome to Learning at Work Week 2018. Learning at Work Week is the biggest festival of workplace learning, and it's organised by the Campaign for Learning. This annual event has been taking place since 1999 and looks to put a spotlight on the importance and benefits of learning and development at work, and this year's theme is Networked for Learning. Working with our friends at Kent Teach, we've curated a series of resources for our network of teachers, school leaders and school-based staff. And all this week we're sharing our TED Talk recommendations. 7 days and 7 talks, each providing helpful insights on networking, from its value to the importance of reaching outside of our work world and connecting with those who think differently, from strategic and serendipitous networking and being able to capitalise on those opportunities that present themselves, and also how to have better conversations. Now, there's also a very personal favourite of mine from the amazing Brené Brown, and I do hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. We've also got a team of bloggers joining us throughout the week, our regular blogsters, as well as some new faces, offering us their thoughts from the field, as it were, and sharing ideas for personal and professional development. And then there's also this short video, another gift from us to you and available to view all week. We'll be looking at how you might approach planning your development, and we're thinking holistically, both personal and professional development. So here's to Learning at Work Week, and let's get started. So why keep on learning? Well, for me, learning is key. It benefits individuals and organisations in a number of ways. It inspires and enables personal and professional growth, and the opportunities from learning, frankly, are infinite. And as a learning and development consultant with Schools Personnel Service, with SPS, I readily see the benefits of high quality professional development. And I'm myself am consciously investing in my own learning and development and look to make it a priority. And because I do that, I'm able to keep up to date with current trends and key developments, both in my professional field of HR and learning and development, but also keep up to date with the current trends and issues that are impacting the education sector. So you, as the schools, academies and settings that I work with, and the key issues that you're facing. It also enables me to develop my knowledge base, and that helps me to make better decisions, more informed decisions. It also supports developing your skill base, and that works to enhance work performance. And also, because I look to develop myself quite widely, broadly, in terms of the materials and resources that I access and the connections that I make, I'm also able to gain insights from other professionals, fields and sectors, and that's really helpful in terms of thinking innovatively, creatively, and bringing a wide variety of thoughts and perspectives to the work that I do. And the way in which that I'm able to support schools and apply new thinking to existing or new problems, and that's really powerful as well. Other reasons to keep on learning, well, better able to identify potential problems and generate innovative solutions. It also enhances job satisfaction, and from an organisational perspective, employee engagement, as well as thinking about those opportunities for progression, both for the individual, but also from the organisation's point of view, thinking about talent management and thinking about succession planning. And organisationally also, in addition to all of that, it maximises staff and team potential. It improves engagement, morale, and the opportunity to share best practice and support amongst colleagues, and that's really powerful as well. So the value of learning sort of keeps on giving, as it were. And learning really is key, and it's not just about the outcomes. The process, the journey of learning offers a number of benefits as well. It can boost confidence, but also importantly improved well-being and a better quality of life. And learning is one of the essentials of well-being. Studies consistently show that psychological the psychological, neurological, physiological, physical benefits of learning and the positive impact that it has on our all-round health and well-being. And as a learning and development professional, I see and experience this on a daily basis. And as teachers and educators, I'm sure that you do too. We're forever learning for ourselves, for others, and with and from others. And it's a really powerful experience. And hopefully it's absolutely a virtuous circle. And equally, in terms of learning and networking and bringing those two things together, networking is also an essential activity for learning. And it's another important strand of well-being. Meaningful relationships with family, friends, colleagues, and our personal and professional networks adds to our lives. And inevitably, we'll all have a professional network around us from our colleagues and peers across our schools and settings, as well as wider partnerships and collaborations, both locally and perhaps even further afield. And if we dovetail this with fostering and maintaining a meaningful virtual network, the benefits are endless. And there's a wealth of quality online content and connectivity to be had. An endless array of forums, views, perspectives, resources to stimulate and invigorate our own thinking and creativity, to support us with problem solving and to help in developing our knowledge, skills and behaviours. And online networking is really flexible too. It's readily accessible, it's easy to get lost on the internet, spend a good few hours engrossed in content that actually you just happen to stumble across. Accessing online resources and forums makes it so easy to continue to develop and refine our knowledge and skills set throughout our life, our career, and actually for those just-in-time moments too. And it means we can learn and connect in and around all of our many commitments. And for me, a TED Talk whilst making dinner, or reading what others in the fields of HR and education are talking about on any given day via Twitter or a blog, and it gets me thinking, is this relevant to me and my work? Do I want to learn more? What's my view? How am I going to share this and interpret this for others? And all whilst the latest episode of my sort of favourite soap might be on in the background, or I'm sat comfortably on my sofa. And there are a number of resources available to you. I've picked a relative few on the slide there, and not forgetting that we'll be sharing our TED Talk recommendations all this week. Remembering that there are 7 daily TED Talks, each with an interesting perspective, some advice and guidance on networking, both as professionals, but also how as educators you can engage your pupils and young people in networking in the classroom to support their own learning and independence, and inspiring those lifelong learning skills that we know are so important. So let's have a look now at how do I work out my development needs. And your development needs are as unique as you are, so it's about identifying what those are, planning the steps that you're going to take, doing it, taking the leap there, and reviewing your progress as you go along, and also reviewing at the end. So let's just take a closer look. So identify what you'd like to learn. Have a conversation with yourself, some self-awareness. Where are you now? Undertake a stock take. What are your current strengths? What are your current areas for development in terms of opportunity to enhance what you're doing and your contribution in your current role? And think about your current skill set. And also thinking about where do you want to be. Think about both your professional self and also your personal self, remembering that this holds true whether you're planning professional development or whether you're planning sort of personal development as well. You'll also need to align these two things in terms of the areas in which you want to develop yourself professionally don't just happen in a vacuum. There is that personal self, your many commitments, your time that you have available, how you can manage any additional workload in terms of training, meetings, taking part in additional projects, etc. So those two things do need to come together. So undertake a stock take, but also do some stargazing. Where do I want to be? And ultimately what we're wanting to do is identify that gap and then be able to take steps to bridge it. And that's where a plan comes in. We want to think smart. So we want to be as specific as possible in our plan. We want to put some timescales in there. We want to be able to measure our success. We want to ensure that it's achievable relevant and realistic as well. Again, bringing together that personal and professional self. So plan how you're going to bridge the gap. What do I need to learn? This is the knowledge, skills and experience you've identified to bridge the gap between the now and where you want to be. Think about, particularly given the theme of networked for learning, how can I make best use of my network? Is it about tapping into my existing network? Well, yes. Is it about building your network? Yes. And also, how can you best network for learning in terms of what else might you be able to do and capitalise on to support that learning? And again, think about your actual network as well as the opportunity for virtual networking. And again there, by when, prioritise the most important activities and assign a time frame, and ultimately get started, do it, make it work, take that leap. You'll also want to think about reviewing your progress as you go along, so ongoing review, and doing that gives you the opportunity to pivot. It gives you the opportunity to make tweaks and changes, be it in response to sort of changing circumstances and situations, or be it because the development opportunities that you're serendipitously identifying and capitalising on are taking you down new and exciting paths that you couldn't have planned for to start with, and actually you have the opportunity to refine and reshape your plan. Also think about what you've learned compared to what you've planned, because I'm sure there will be a whole host of additional learning that takes place that you couldn't have planned for. So what else have you learned, as it says there? How have you contributed to the learning of others? An important thing about networking is that absolutely it should be sort of a collaborative space, a quid pro quo. And if you've undertaken that stock take, you'll know your areas for development, but you'll also know the strengths that you're able to offer and share with others. And so the opportunity to learn, but also contribute to the learning of others as well. And also think about further capitalising. So what are your next steps? What does the future look like? How are you going to continue this journey and continue to develop? Is it continue to develop in this particular area, on this particular topic, in this particular field, or is it building on that and stretching yourself and developing in other areas? So keeping all of that under review. So some headline top tips for you there. In terms of our featured TED Talks that I've made reference to, networking sometimes can feel a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe folks feel a little bit unsure. So these 7 TED Talks really engaging and inspiring TED Talks. And day 1 sees us join Doug McGolgan, and he talks about the value of networking with those outside of our work world and how great discovery exists in connections with those who think differently. Day 2, we're with Michael Goldberg, and he talks about strategic and serendipitous networking and offers a model to help us think like a networker, talk like a networker, and ultimately have better conversations. Day 3, we're with Sagata, and his TED Talk is in essence a call to arms. His wish is to build a school in the cloud where children can explore and learn from each other using resources and mentoring from the cloud, and that's a particularly interesting TED Talk to watch as teachers and as educators. Day 4, we're with Kayla, a 2nd grade teacher over in the States, and she looks at reimagining classrooms, teachers as learners and students as leaders. And what she talks about is breaking down the 4 walls of the classroom and allowing her students to learn virtually and become globally connected. Day 5 there. Oh, this is a personal favourite of mine, the wonderful Brené Brown. She is in the top 25 TED Talks of all time, and she shares insights from her work on vulnerability, which is the birthplace of innovation and creativity. And she talks about why your critics aren't the ones who count. Sharing our ideas in work can be scary, and she'll talk to us about how to deal with the critics and our own self-doubt. And I can't encourage that TED Talk enough, encourage you to watch that TED Talk enough. something for the weekend, as it were, day 6. So Saturday, in this TED Talk from Care Anderson, we revisit the importance of connection and collaboration and collective mindset and how it pays to be open to the unexpected, to be opportunity makers. Day 7, we're back with Michael Goldberg, and Michael kindly builds on his earlier work and shares more helpful advice on personal networking. And this time he's talking with the students of Rutgers University over in the States. So certainly a lot of useful hints, tips, tricks, and thoughts for you to take away with you through the week. And there you have it, folks. SPS and Kent Teach, bringing you Learning at Work Week 2018. Why not join our network? So we're on Twitter, and you can see our Twitter profiles there. We're also on LinkedIn and Facebook. Start conversations, be part of the conversations, involve us in those. Let's all get talking, sharing ideas and practice, and supporting each other's development. I hope that you've enjoyed this quick video. It's proved food for thought. I hope you enjoyed the TED Talks and the other resources that we've got available to you. And hope you have a great week. Take care. Bye.